Hello, everybody. We are here in Sacramento, California, although it felt like Stockton, California tonight, especially for that nightcap game between Lincoln and Stockton and Sierra Canyon. First of all, though, my name is Dycus, here with the Mercury News, East Bay Times, Bay Area News Group, joined by Nathan Canilao. So let's get right into it, Nathan. First game of the day that we covered in full was the Kings Academy, and that was crazy.
Yeah, honestly, one of the crazier almost comebacks I've seen covering the state championship games. TKA down 10, I believe, with a minute left, and looks all but over. But a few made free throws, a couple steals, a couple layups, made three, and they cut it to, I believe, one with about 20 seconds left. I think SGA hits two free throws, goes up three. About 15 seconds left, no timeouts for TKA. They go the length of the floor. They run a dribble handoff for a three before the shot goes up. Offensive foul. Very controversial call. No time really left. They get a steal at the end and a layup, but by that time it was already over. I believe the final score was a 52-51. It's an insane game all around. Big games from Xavier Barnett, Claxton Lake, the big game. Just a really, I think a building block for TKA going forward. But it was an insane game, also because San Gabriel Academy had two guys over 6'8", and TKA didn't have anyone over 6'5". So really, really impressive effort from TKA all around.
Yeah. And then the next game, or the one that we covered, there was one in between. Marin Catholic won against Mater Dei of Chula Vista. But I got to cover Carondelet playing Sage Hill. Sage Hill was led by Amanda Holquin, who is the last of the Mamba Five, which were 5 players at Sage Hill of Newport Beach that were mentored by the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant, the late, great Kobe Bryant. Carondelet, that was also a crazy game. Man, that was they were up for most of it, and then towards like a minute left, Sage Hill takes the lead, and I'm like, they're gonna pull it out. And then Carondelet made their free throws. Olivia Smith and Layla Dixon both made 2 free throws, and Sage Hill was 4-14 from the line. I think you can attest that in a championship game like this, if you don't make your free throws, you're not going to win the game. Trust me, though. We got more on free throws later.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Carondelet. They earned that win. That was a hard-fought win. Give a shout-out to Celeste Alvarez. She had 5 blocks, 14 rebounds, 12 points. And quite frankly, she was probably the best player on the floor, and she's only a sophomore.
Yeah. I will say just things looking up for Carondelet. I mean, he had a state title with a team that young. Really spells trouble for a lot of the teams out in the Bay Area. And congrats to Kelly Sopak. He got 500 wins at the MLK tournament or showcase at De La Salle earlier this year, and he ends off the season with a Division I state title. So heck of a year for him.
And I will say this was I believe 10 years since he led that Miramonte team with Sabrina Ionescu to the Open final. I think that was the last time that they had made it this far. So it took him 10 years and earned that win. So congratulations to Kelly Sopak. Congratulations to Carondelet. And let's get to the trending topic of the night, which is what the heck happened during the Lincoln Stockton Sierra Canyon game.
Yeah, so let's start backwards, because I think it'd be easier to let the audience know what happened from the end and then go to the beginning. So Anthony Matthews, a longtime Lincoln Stockton coach, walks into the press room, and the first thing he does is he asks the reporters in the room, "Do you want the real thing about tonight's game, or do you want the politically correct answer first?" To which there was a little bit of a silence, and me and Joseph ended up just blurting out, "Yeah,
we want the real."
And he went on to rip the officials who officiated Friday night's game between Lincoln and Sierra Canyon. It was a really close game throughout, and honestly, could have gone either way. The first half was really, I mean, both teams were able to go get really physical. There was kind of a vibe shift in the second half, and felt like a little bit more touchy-feely with the officiating, and Denez Lindsay, their star point guard, and Trey Simmons, their star freshman power forward, both fouled out late in the fourth quarter. Sierra Canyon goes on to win 58-53, and really a heartbreaker for Lincoln. But yeah, he really went scorched earth on the officiate. I don't as far as I covered high school sports, and I don't know about you, Joseph, I haven't seen a coach really rip officials, especially in a game like that, to that extent. Like, I mean, he kept it pretty real.
To just illustrate to our point, and by the time they watch this, I think the story will be out on the Mercury News East Bay Times website. But you asked the coach, do you feel that like you got robbed? And he said, yes, 100%. And then he turns to his players and he says, do you guys agree? And they're all like, yep,
Yeah.
And then he said, which by the way, I felt like I was in Stockton. It was what, 90% Lincoln Stockton fans?
I conservatively said that there was over 1,000 fans in the arena that were Lincoln of Stockton fans, but I think that it was closer probably to 2,000 in terms of just the mass. I mean, they took up an entire 4 or 5 sections with the students alone, and I would say that was only like 60% of the fans. I mean, you look at the rest, it was about 40% were parents, community members, people who just wanted to watch the game, and it felt like a real hostile environment. And late, I'll add this, when it was late and these foul calls are not going Lincoln's way, you could just feel the angst of this group, these fans, and with every replay there was boos, there was jeers. Really sad to see. I mean, the free throw, just for full transparency, the free throw discrepancy was 30-18 in favor of Sierra Canyon. Now, I will say Sierra Canyon was the aggressor in the whole game. They attacked the rim pretty hard. But I don't want to say, Matthews, Lincoln could have won that game,
Yes.
doing other things for sure. But I do understand to a certain degree, like, how frustrating it could be for a coach when you don't have your best players down the stretch, when it feels like the first half they kind of let you play. Second half it got a little bit more tight. It was a little bit weird in that sense. Would you agree, Joseph?
Yeah, I mean, the first half there was a nice flow to it. We were like, oh wow, Anthony Moore's hitting big shots, and then Sierra Canyon would come down and hit a big shot, and it was like, oh, this is fun. There's energy, and then that second half it was just foul. And yes, Sierra Canyon did get called for fouls, and Lincoln of Stockton did. I think they missed 8 free throws. I want to say, I don't have the box score in front of me. They missed quite a few free throws. So they could have hit a few more shots, but you come away from that game thinking, man, the whistle did not give them any help. Put it that way.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it was weird because I do think to a certain extent Lincoln definitely benefited too. I mean, there was a couple stretches of fouls where I think they went up like 5, 6, 7 points off free throws. But let's be honest, Lincoln did miss a lot of free throws as well. So that changes the dynamic of the game as well. But I think from an overall, just a game standpoint, I mean, it was a wonderful game. It was probably one of the more competitive Division I games we've seen in a long time. And compare that to San Ramon Valley versus St. John Bosco last year, where the game was essentially over in the second quarter.
Or your Granada Matadors playing a loaded Notre Dame Sherman Oaks team with Mercy Miller and forget who the other kid was. But yeah, it was a great to see a Division I game that went down to the wire.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think just hats off to Sierra. A big point was that LeBron James was in the house tonight in Sacramento. Obviously, his son Bryce James plays for the team, so that was a little cool moment. And even the Lincoln players acknowledged that was just a really cool moment for all of those guys involved. So it was really a special atmosphere. It was a unique atmosphere in terms of you had your Sierra Canyon parents, who obviously a lot of these guys come from sons of former players. but then you had this really big community of Lincoln fans that really took up the space in the gym, which I thought was amazing. And shout out to Lincoln. I mean, they went.
Shout out to Lincoln.
I will say they were the Bay Area. We talked about St. Joe's being the Bay Area's boogeyman, but maybe it was Lincoln. I mean, Lincoln went through San Ramon and Moreau Catholic,
St. Ignatius, right?
St. Ignatius, right? A lot of these teams, Liberty, that we put in high regard out here in the Bay. So yeah, hats off. They had an incredible season, and they're only graduating 3 players now. Granted, they're top 3 players, but lots to replace there. But they'll be in the mix. Anything else, Joseph, that you took away from today's action?
I'll just some quick rapid fire ones. Congratulations, San Francisco International, San Francisco. They win their first ever state title. Connor McGuire has 32 points, a bunch of rebounds, assists, and steals. And they beat Diamond Ranch from Pomona, which I could not tell, or Pomona. I'm not sure which one. Cannot tell you where that is, but I know it's in Southern California. And I guess tomorrow we'll be covering a bunch of games. We're too tired and it's too late to preview all those tonight, but we'll catch you tomorrow, and we might have Darren Saavedra and Christian Babcock with us. Nathan, you got any parting shots?
Yeah, I have one parting shot. I'll say Sierra Canyon coach stepped to the podium, and I think someone asked him what was the lowest point of the season, and I thought it was very interesting. He said it was the first game of the Santa Barbara tournament, which was actually their first game was a 4-point win over Doherty Valley. Mike Hansen, shout out to Mike Hansen and Doherty Valley for giving the eventual Division I state champs presumably their hardest game of the year. So
all roads lead to San Ramon. And with that, that's it for tonight. Hope you guys tune in tomorrow. Bye.